I'm recording this date. It is July 16th, 2022. This is not my top 6 best rookies. It is who I think has a better chance of winning it in their league. Even if I might have a worse player ranked higher than a better player because their league has less competition. So yeah, here we go. Top 6 most likely players to win MLB Rookie of the Year award. Number 6, Joe Ryan. He has a 2.99 ERA, a 1.062 whip. He's 6-3. He has a 1.7 WAR. He has a 3.99 FIP, and has 66 strikeouts. He's done very, very good all year. A lot of these players that I have on this list are like they haven't played as much games, or they've come up more recently a little bit. But he's stuck around, and it's really hard for rookie pitchers to win Rookie of the Year, especially when some of the guys in the AL that I'm talking about. But he's held his own, and he's 26, a very old age for a rookie, which means he's still going to have rookie struggles, and it's still going to be like, it's still new to him, but he's more mature and more older to deal with it. And his 6-3 record means that, like, he helps the Twins win games, and it's impressive that he's held these numbers all year long. He already has a 1.7 WAR. He's done very good on a Twins team that's overachieved. He's on pace for... He did pitch a little bit last year as well, and he had a 4.05 ERA, which means that rookie experience thing, of course, like, he's going to be more prepared for it. And this Twins pitching staff has been decent, but he's held his own in here and been as dominant as he used to be. He's still very good. I was preparing to make this video a month ago, and I had Mackenzie Gore on it, and he was like doing so good, and he fell off. And then when I rechecked the stats of every player that I had, I was like, Joe Ryan must have fell off. No, he stayed good. He has a... Okay, the reason why I don't have him higher, because like he's like second in odds to win NL Rookie of the Year, is because it's very early for him. His numbers would have to be out of this world for me to trust him to sustain them. Just look at other rookies that had amazing starts that we thought for sure they're going to win Rookie of the Year, like kind of like people are doing with Harris right now, that it kind of fell off. Jeremy Pena, he was doing out of this world in his first 40 games. In his first 40 games, he had an 838 OPS. Now, he only has a 760 OPS. Akil Baddoo, last year, after his out-of-worldly start where he hit a home run his first pitch, had a walk-off, had a grand slam, was hitting over 400 in his first 10 games, and had good solid field, he was still doing good. The rest doing pretty bad, and he didn't end up being anywhere close to winning Rookie of the Year, despite what my Akil Baddoo video says. And he doesn't walk a lot. Players like that, they're very risky. Just look at Javier Baez. He's a guy who doesn't really walk a lot, and now look at him. If people that don't really have much pace end up going on a slump, it's troublesome, because it's not like they have a couple walks to boost their OBP. No, it's usually them free swinging, striking out. So if he slumps, his numbers would take a hit. And he's an upstart. It's not like he's a top prospect who I think, oh yeah, he has a lot of talent, he's gonna pick it up. No, he's an upstart, so it's very risky to put him higher. But I know this seems negative, but he's actually doing pretty well. He's hitting 277 with a 310 OBP, a 494 slugging percentage, an 804 OPS, 118 OPS plus, a 1.8 WAR already in 46 games. Already, he has 9 home runs, he's on pace for almost 30, and he has 7 stolen bases with no caught stealing. His 1.8 WAR, Jeremy Pena has a 3.0 WAR in 68 games. This guy already has a 1.8 WAR in 46 games, which means he doesn't really sell out for power, because even though he might like swing for the fences a lot, he doesn't sell out for power. He can hit for average. He can also hit for average. His 494 slugging is insane. He's played 46 games. It's not like it's like the first 23. This is for 46 games. His 1.8 WAR attributes to the fact that he also can play center field. He's played 46 games this year. Do you know how much games he started at center field? All 46 of them. He has a 5 RDRS, which means like the runs defensive saved, or like how much runs you cost your team. He has 5. He has no errors in 46 games, and he has 7 stolen bases with no caught stealing. He has monster power, 46 games and 9 home runs, and it's not like he sells out for power, because even though I said if he goes in the slump, people like him that don't walk that much are going to strike out a lot, which is still true. It's not like a lot of them are going to be swing and misses, because he can also hit for contact and power. In the 494 slugging, 2 triples and 8 doubles, which is like as much as Christopher Morel has in his 52 games. And he can field and he has speed. He's basically an everything player, but monster power. Very good. And I think because there's like, it's a dogfight, there's like a lot of competition, but it's not really like a really good top dog in the NL. But yeah, because of his style of play and because I don't really trust him as much, I'm not going to put him higher, but he's still very, very good. Number 4, we have Jeremy Pena. His first 40 games, we all thought he was going to be the number 1 Rookie of the Year candidate, which is why I still have him, even though he's been struggling lately. I still have him at number 4 because of his early promise and because he is still a great poise and I trust in him. But yeah, in his first 40 games, he had a 291 batting average, a 342 OBP, a 496 slugging, and an 838 OPS. Now he has a 264 batting average, a 312 OBP, and a 449 slugging percentage, and has a 760 OPS in 68 games. He has 33 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and a 3.0 WAR, which means the 33 RBIs are huge. He's very, very clutch, and he just brings energy to the team. But yeah, why would I pick somebody who's struggling right now as somebody who's number 4? Well, it's because he can, again, kind of like Michael Harris, do everything. He has 12 home runs this year too, in 68 games, which means he's at least going to finish close to 30. His stats aren't going to look deflated because he's played mostly every single game. He's gotten injured, so of course he's going to slump a little bit. I think the excuses for him are valid. And his 3.0 WAR is really good because he has a league-leading 13 errors at shortstop, but he still has an 8 RDRS, and he's 4th in the American League in defensive WAR at a 1.3, and he's 6th in the AL in total zone runs at shortstop, and he's 4th in range factor per 9 innings as a shortstop. This guy is so good that looking at his errors you think he's terrible. No, he just makes the occasional error every once in a while, but he makes that up by being a god at fielder, and because of he sustained those crazy numbers for 40 games, and then he got injured and he's struggling. Of course he's going to struggle. I have faith that he's going to, come back, and he just has to outduel Julio Rodriguez. And that's going to be really tough, but there's not really much competition because Joe Ryan is good, and he's very, very reliable. He's been one of the most reliable players, and I don't think because of how good he is and because of his experience that he's going to fall off. But I don't think that he's going to be a threat to Jeremy Pena because of just how godly he is at shortstop, how he has speed, how he can hit for average, and how he can hit for power. And he used to have a 342 OBP. I think that he's just going through a rough stretch, and I think that because he was like a 39th round draft pick, I think that he can come back and claw back and do good. He's like Harris, but right now he's going through a slump. But yeah, him when he's not in a slump is still really good, and his numbers are still decent. 264, 312. He just needs, and 12 home runs isn't that bad. He's only like 4 home runs off from Julio Rodriguez, and he's still hitting for quite a bit of power. Somebody who can do everything, and has a 3.0 WAR right now, only through 68 games. He's on pace to have a 7.0 WAR, which is like really, really good because of his fielding and because he can hit for average and for how clutch he is. He's making the Astros win these games. He's giving the Astros a way better chance of winning games, and for somebody that can do everything, and he used to be so good, and nobody thought he could be good, and his numbers aren't still that bad. I think that he can come back and win MLB Rookie of the Year. Number 3, I have Christopher Morel. At 265 batting average, a 336 OBP. He has like 20-something walks. Yes. A 45 slugging, 9 home runs, and an 822 OPS. A 128 OPS plus, 7 stolen bases. He's got caught stealing 4 times. A 0.8 WAR. Now I think he's probably the best NL rookie hitter by almost everything imaginable. He has 9 home runs, and he debuted in May 17th, and he had to hit a home run his first at bat when he was pinch hitting. He's 3rd in the NL in triples, and he has 45 slugging because this is 52 games. And I know that might not seem as much as a guy like Harris or Pena, but that's like a lot more plate appearances, and he can walk. He's basically Christian Harris if he can also walk. with how much value he brings into the team, with him getting on base, and with 9 home runs in 52 games, which is on pace for 28 home runs, and with his OPS and OPS plus, he's number 1 in double plays turned as center fielder. Yeah, which he can play a lot. He can play outfield and he can play infield, which means that he's a good fielder, right? Kind of, but kind of not. 0.8, 152 games. A part 2 is fielding. He can play a lot of positions, but he doesn't do them well. He has a -8 RDRS. He's athletic, but he's not very good at fielding. And he only has 25 RBIs, which is not that good. And I don't think that's because of him. He gets on base a lot. He's very aggressive. He steals. He can hit for batting average, and he can hit for home runs. A very free swinger. He's on pace for 200 something strikeouts this year. Kind of like a lot of people, that he has a lot of pop in his bat, and that when he makes contact it can fly. Because somebody who strikes out that much, they don't swing like that unless they know that they've got godly hitting. Which with that 9 home runs and 822 OPS, you can see why. But you'd think that somebody free swinging like that would strike out like a lot, and his OBP would be disastrous. 336 isn't good, or he can be a free swinger and strike out a lot and swing for the fences while still walking. That is very, very rare, and just the fact that he does that means that he's a very skilled hitter, 23 years old, and I feel like the Cubs should put him more higher in the batting lineup. And even if he doesn't field, which makes it troublesome for him because his 0.8 WAR is inflated because of his fielding stuff, just how much power he has in his bat, and when you make contact, you know that it's going far. And the fact that Harris has a 310 OBP, Morel has a 336. You'd want him on your team in a clutch moment, and he's basically he's a power guy that's a free swinger that can also walk. Enough said with that. And he's gonna have to improve his fielding, but I still really, really like him. And number 2, we got Spencer Strider. Right now, he's putting up godly numbers, and he's been doing good more recently, which it's not like he's super inexperienced, which means that he's on a hot streak. He's pitched 20 games, and he's only started 9 of them, which is, he has to be a bullpen arm. He's a 2.56 ERA. You read that right. 2.56 ERA, a 167 ERA plus, a 182 FIP, 110 strikeouts, which is more than Joe Ryan. When Joe Ryan has started 5 more games than him, 14 to Spencer Strider's 9. Would walk a lot of guys either. He has 28 walks, and at the beginning of the year he was a bit shaky because he was a bullpen guy. But he's been doing amazing ever since. He has a 1.024 whip. He's a guy that strikes out a lot of batters, who doesn't walk a lot, which a rookie, people who usually when they give up cookies, they get smashed, and then they get afraid, and then they try to pitch outside. He can pound the strike zone and strike out guys at the same time while not getting hammered. The fact that he has this crazy numbers, and he was a bullpen arm this year, and he just recently started pitching, is even more crazy. It's not like where it took him a lot of time. No, he just right off the bat just started doing good. And yes, I said good when he started out. When he started out of nowhere, he just started doing ungodly, just godly. And on a team that has one of the most stacked pitching staffs with the Braves, he's been one of their best. He's 7th in the NL in strikeouts when he's only started 9 games. Yeah, which all of these things that I'm saying, he's not really experienced. He shouldn't be ready. He's new to this. Yeah, he has 110 strikeouts. Yeah, and he's leading the league in that with only 9 games started. Wow, and he still can't pitch 7 or 8 games, which is why I was thinking of moving him down. He can pitch a 5 or 6 inning game. But no, he can give you 4 or 5 innings of maximum allowed 2 runs. He's 4th in SITS win save WPA /LI. I do not really know what that means. And he's done amazing in his last in his recent games. Just amazing. Okay, in his last 3 starts, he has allowed 2 earned runs. 2. In the whole month of June, he allowed 9 earned runs, which 6 of them was a quote-unquote starts against the Giants, where he gave up 6 earned runs in 3 innings. So yeah, I guess because, I don't know, he used to they eased him into the starting role. He doesn't really pitch as much. He doesn't have as much innings. So they eased him in, and he was doing good. But now, just recently, they've been giving him 6 innings. He had 2 straight starts in a row where he pitched 6 innings, and he had no earned runs. Against Cincinnati, he only gave up 1 hit in 6 innings. And against St. Louis, he gave up 2 hits in 6 innings. Just insane. As a bullpen arm, he was okay, but he's not really, when he gives up runs, it's usually early. He's not really fit for bullpen. It's just a rookie who's unproven of, who was a bullpen guy and he was okay, and then they moved him to starter, started doing really good, and now is doing insane. And he was so insane, but now that he's in the leaderboards when he has way less starts, and that means that his ceiling is still yet to come. He's going to get better and better, which rookie pitchers, when they start doing good and stuff, they usually start doing bad. Look, Joe Ryan's starting to regress. He's going to keep it up. I think he's just going to get better and better as the season goes. He has great fielding behind him. Christian Harris is a part of that. It's just insane. I think that he has a great future ahead of him, and credit the Braves for their pitching staff. It's just, their pitching, they've had so many good pitchers, and a lot of them are nobodies. Just credit the Braves pitching staff. And number 1, I have Julio Rodriguez. It's pretty obvious who it was going to be from the beginning. He made the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. So, in 89 games, he's played the most games here by far. He has 16 home runs, which is what Harris, he's on the same home run pace as Harris and Morel. They're on pace at a 162 game average at 28. But yeah, anyways, he has 16 home runs, 50 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, which is leading the league in, only caught stealing 4 times. He has 25 walks. He's batting .275 with a .335 OBP. He's basically like Christopher Morel, but with a better batting average, and basically the same power, but it can also lead the league in stolen bases. It has a .479 slugging percentage, which is an .814 OPS. Now you're saying, Christopher Morel looks like he has better batting stats. That's because when you play more games, your stats go down, which is why I think Christian Harris might cool off. He has played more games, so of course his stats aren't going to be, of course Christopher Morel's are going to be more inflated. And what I just read off, those stats are still pretty good. He has a 135 OPS plus and a 3.6 WAR. Insane. And he has all of that. He's basically like a Christopher Morel, but better because Christopher Morel is going to go through a slump like this as well. But can also steal bases and is one of the best fielders in the game. Just look at all of his league leaders and stuff. It's just really, really good. He is first in errors committed as a center field, but he's also first in range factors a game as an outfield. He's first as putouts as an outfielder. He's 6th in total zone runs as a center fielder. He's 2nd in assists as a center fielder. First in putouts. First in defensive games. Power speed, he's first. Stolen bases, he's 2nd in the AL. Runs created, he's 10th. Total bases, he's 7th in the AL. He's been Rookie of the Month in June and in May. He's 6th in WAR. He's 6th in position players with WAR with 3.6 in the AL. And there's so much accolades here that I can't even read them all. His RDS is a 3, which it's kind of like WAR a little bit. The more games you play, the more RDS is going to go down because you have more time to commit more errors. He has 2 errors this year, but he's still doing pretty good. His range factor per 9 inning is 2.99. His fielding percentage is a 992. He's very, very fast. You'd think somebody that has 21 stolen bases and was drafted a lot because of his speed. of course, he's going to be godly at fielding, and that is it. Somebody who's speedy, and he can hit for lots of average, and who can steal bases and have an amazing range factor, which range factor is like kind of like what it says in the name, like the range. He's incredibly rangy. Yeah, that's insane, and he lived up to the hype. And another reason why I know he's gonna continue to be good is because he was a #1 prospect. He's very hyped. Even if he had a bad year this year, we'd still had hope. Yeah, it's like, even if we know that he's still gonna be good, and even if he was struggling, people would still make excuses for him. People that are nitpicking him because of his stats now, they know that he's gonna still do really good in the future too. I did not just make sense. But yeah, he's also 6'3" with all of his speed. He's just the perfect center fielder. And at the beginning of the year, he went through a huge slump. His first 20 games, he struck out a lot, and the umpires did not like him. And now he's doing amazing, which is why his stats are. We all knew that he was gonna be #1 on the list. When you clicked on the video, you knew that he was gonna be #1. Unless you think that I'm an idiot, which I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you. His recently, I'm gonna name in the month of July, 1 for 3. 1 for 4, 2 for 3, 1 for 5, 2 for 5, 0 for 3, 2 for 5, 0 for 3, 1 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 4, 2 for 5. That's really good. And he only has 3 walks, which you think that because he has only like 25 walks this year in 89 games, that his OBP would be like worse than Harris's. He still has a 335 OBP, which attests to his base running and just how good he is. He's an all-purpose guy. He's Michael Harris on steroids. He has better power. He can lead the league in stolen bases, and he can field better. And because of his numbers are inflated too. He has with all these good things I just said about him. His numbers are inflated, and he's his #1 prospect. So you can make an excuse for his so-called inflated numbers. So we know that he's still going to be good. He's viewing very good right now. And he has 50 RBIs, which is that's double the amount that Morel has, which I know Morel's played a lot less games, but still, he's just been electrifying. His 3.6 WAR is a lot more than Pena's, and you know that he's just unlocking his potential. He's going to be something special. Now, I hope that Riley Green can be that good too. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you did, subscribe if you like this.